The neon lights of Hong Kong's bustling streets cast long shadows into the narrow alley where Jackie Chan sat on a worn wooden crate, his back against the cold brick wall. The distant hum of traffic and late-night vendors mixed with the occasional laughter from nearby karaoke bars, creating the perfect symphony of a city that never sleeps. In his weathered hands, Jackie held a bottle of premium sake, a gift from a Japanese stuntman he'd worked with earlier that week. The amber liquid caught the flickering light from a nearby street lamp as he took another slow sip, savoring the smooth burn that traveled down his throat. "Ah, this is good stuff," Jackie murmured to himself in Cantonese, his voice carrying the slight slur of someone who'd been drinking for the better part of an hour. His usually pristine hair was disheveled, and his trademark smile had softened into something more relaxed, more vulnerable. After 12 hours of brutal stunt work on his latest film, this quiet moment felt like a small piece of heaven. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed through the alley, growing louder with each passing second. 3 figures emerged from the shadows, local thugs by the look of them, with the swagger of men who thought they owned these streets. The leader, a stocky man with arms covered in crude tattoos, squinted through the dim light before his face broke into a cruel grin. "Well, well, well," he called out in heavily accented English, wanting to make sure his target understood every word. "Look what we have here, boys. It's the famous Jackie Chan." His companions, a tall, lanky man with gold teeth and a shorter, muscular guy with a shaved head, began to circle like wolves who'd found wounded prey. Jackie looked up from his bottle, blinking slowly as if trying to focus. "Oh, hello there," he said with an exaggerated wave, nearly losing his balance on the crate. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" He giggled softly, raising his bottle in what looked like a toast. "Want to share some sake? Japanese, very good quality." The tattooed leader's grin widened. "This is too easy," he muttered to his friends before turning back to Jackie. "You know what, movie star? We've seen all your films. Very impressive. On screen. But we're curious, can the great Jackie Chan really fight, or is it all just movie magic and wire work?" "Yeah," chimed in Goldteeth, pulling out his phone. "This is gonna get us so many views on social media. We beat up Jackie Chan in a back alley. We'll be famous." Jackie took another long sip from his bottle, swaying slightly. "Fight? Oh no, no, no," he said with a dopey smile. "I'm just a peaceful man enjoying good sake. Violence is not the answer, my friends." He stood up unsteadily, using the wall for support. "Maybe you should go home to your families. I'm sure they're worried about you." The muscular bald man stepped forward aggressively. "Families? Who cares about families? We want to see if Jackie Chan is all hype." He reached out and grabbed Jackie's shirt collar with both hands, yanking him forward roughly. "Hey, careful with the—" Jackie began, but his words were cut short as the sudden movement caused him to lose his grip on the sake bottle. Time seemed to slow as the precious container tumbled through the air, catching the neon light as it fell toward the unforgiving concrete below. Something shifted in Jackie's eyes. The glassy, unfocused look vanished, replaced by the sharp awareness of a predator. In one fluid motion that seemed to defy physics, Jackie twisted his body like liquid mercury, his shirt slipping from the thug's grasp as if it were made of silk. He spun downward, his hand shooting out to catch the falling bottle just inches from the ground. As he rose back up, Jackie's entire demeanor had transformed. His stance was low and swaying, but there was nothing clumsy about it now. This was the stance of Drunken Master, every wobble calculated, every apparent stumble a potential attack. He cradled the rescued bottle against his chest like a precious child. "Ayo!" Jackie exclaimed in mock distress, his voice carrying the theatrical timing that had made him famous. "You almost made me waste good sake. Do you know how expensive this bottle is? My friend gave this to me from Japan." He took an exaggerated swig and wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. "Now look what you've done. You've made me very, very upset." The 3 thugs looked at each other uncertainly. Something had changed in the air of the alley, like the moment before lightning strikes. The easy prey they thought they'd found was beginning to look less like a helpless drunk and more like something else entirely. "What's wrong with you guys?" Jackie continued, swaying from side to side with the bottle still in hand. "A minute ago you wanted to fight. Come on, show me what you've got. But be careful." He pointed the bottle at them like a conductor's baton. "This sake is making me feel very creative." The leader tried to regain his confidence. "Stop playing games, old man. We're going to show everyone that Jackie Chan is just another fake movie star." Jackie's eyes sparkled with mischief as he took another deliberate sip. "Fake? Oh, my friend, you have no idea what's real and what's not. But don't worry." He settled into a deeper Drunken Master stance, the bottle becoming an extension of his arm. Class is about to begin. The first thug, the tattooed leader, lunged forward with a wild haymaker, confident that his size advantage would overwhelm the seemingly intoxicated actor. Jackie responded by stumbling backward dramatically, his free hand windmilling for balance while the other kept his precious sake bottle safe. But the stumble was a feint. As the punch sailed harmlessly over his head, Jackie's recovery became a spinning back fist that caught the leader square in the solar plexus. "Whoops!" Jackie exclaimed with exaggerated surprise, as if he'd accidentally bumped into someone on the street. "Sorry about that. This sake is making me very clumsy." The leader doubled over, gasping for air, while Jackie took another casual sip from his bottle. Gold teeth came at him from the left, throwing a series of rapid jabs. Jackie swayed like bamboo in the wind, each punch missing by mere inches, as he performed what looked like an elaborate dance. His head bobbed and weaved with liquid grace, the bottle never leaving his lips as he continued drinking. Then, as Gold Teeth overextended on a particularly vicious cross, Jackie accidentally stepped on his foot while pivoting away. "Oh, excuse me," Jackie said cheerfully, grinding down just enough to make Gold Teeth howl in pain before releasing him. "These shoes have such thick soles. I didn't feel your foot there at all." But the real artistry began when the bald muscle man decided to charge like a bull, hoping to use his superior size to simply tackle Jackie against the wall. Jackie's eyes lit up with the gleam of a master craftsman seeing the perfect piece of raw material. As the charging thug approached, Jackie suddenly lost his balance and fell backward against the alley wall, but his fall became a wall run that carried him up and over his attacker's head in a perfect arc. Landing behind the confused thug with cat-like grace, Jackie reached out with his free hand and gently tapped the man on the shoulder. "Excuse me, friend," he said politely as the bald man spun around. "You dropped this." And with that, Jackie flicked his finger against the man's nose, a simple gesture that somehow sent him sprawling backward into a pile of garbage bags. "How did you?" the tattooed leader wheezed, still trying to catch his breath. "How did I what?" Jackie asked innocently, taking another swig of sake. "I'm just trying to enjoy my drink. You're the ones who keep bumping into me." He gestured around the alley with his bottle. "This is a very small space, you know. Maybe you should be more careful." What happened next was like watching a master painter create a work of art. The three thugs, now working together out of desperation and embarrassment, came at Jackie from all sides. But Jackie had entered the zone, that magical place where his decades of training, his understanding of physics, and his natural instincts merged into something approaching the supernatural. He ducked under Gold Teeth's punch while simultaneously kicking backward to catch the bald man in the shin. The bottle in his hand became a conductor's baton as he orchestrated the chaos around him. When the leader tried to grab him from behind, Jackie simply melted out of his grasp like water, spinning around to deliver a gentle palm strike to the man's chest that sent him sliding backward across the alley floor. "You know," Jackie said conversationally, dodging three simultaneous attacks with a series of moves that looked more like interpretive dance than martial arts. "My Sifu used to say that the best fighters are like water. They flow around obstacles. They take the shape of whatever container they're in, and—" He paused to hip-check Gold Teeth into the wall. "They can be gentle as a summer rain or powerful as a tsunami." The thugs were breathing hard now, their confidence completely shattered. Every attack they launched was turned against them with such elegant efficiency that they were essentially beating themselves up while Jackie just flowed. The bottle never left his hand, and he never stopped taking occasional sips, as if this were merely an energetic conversation rather than a fight. "This is impossible," gasped the bald man, nursing his bruised ego along with his bruised ribs. "Impossible?" Jackie laughed, a genuine sound of joy that echoed through the alley. "My friend, you haven't seen impossible yet. Watch this." He took a long drink from his bottle, held up one finger as if asking for patience, then proceeded to demonstrate a sequence of Drunken Master techniques that seemed to defy the laws of physics. He stumbled forward, backward, and sideways in what looked like random directions. but somehow each movement put him in the perfect position to deflect or redirect his opponent's increasingly desperate attacks. When the leader tried one last desperation tackle, Jackie simply stepped aside and guided the man's momentum straight into gold teeth, sending both of them tumbling into the same pile of garbage bags that had already claimed the bald thug. As the dust settled, Jackie stood in the center of the alley, completely unruffled except for his slightly disheveled hair. His breathing was calm, his stance relaxed, and most importantly, his sake bottle remained completely intact in his hand. "Well," he said, looking down at the three groaning figures scattered around the alley. "That was a nice warm-up. I was getting a bit stiff from sitting so long." He took another appreciative sip of his drink. "Thank you for helping me stretch my legs, gentlemen. Very thoughtful of you." The three thugs could only stare at him in a mixture of awe, fear, and complete bewilderment as Jackie checked his bottle for any damage. Jackie examined his sake bottle carefully under the dim neon light, turning it this way and that like a jeweler inspecting a precious diamond. Not a single crack, not even a scratch on the smooth glass surface. He held it up to the light and smiled with genuine satisfaction. "You know what, my friends?" he said to the three thugs who were still picking themselves up from various corners of the alley. "This bottle is really something special. Look at this craftsmanship." He tapped it gently with his fingernail, producing a clear musical note. It survived all that excitement without even a chip. They don't make them like this anymore. The tattooed leader, now sporting a torn shirt and a significantly bruised ego, struggled to his feet. "What? What just happened?" he asked, genuinely confused. "You were drunk. We saw you drinking. You could barely stand up." Jackie's eyes twinkled with mischief as he took another slow, savoring sip. "Who says I was drunk?" He swayed slightly, but now the movement looked deliberate, controlled. "Did you ever think that maybe I was just practicing?" "Practicing what?" Goldteeth demanded, spitting out what looked like a piece of lettuce from his encounter with the garbage bags. "The art of being underestimated," Jackie replied with a gentle smile. "You see, there's an old saying in Kung Fu, the best way to win a fight is to make your opponent think you've already lost. You three saw what you wanted to see, a helpless, drunk old actor. But what you didn't see was someone who spent 40 years learning how to turn weakness into strength." He gestured around the alley with his bottle, like a professor giving a lecture. Drunken Master isn't about being drunk, my friends. It's about being unpredictable. It's about flowing like water, bending like bamboo, and finding opportunity in every moment of apparent disadvantage. The bald thug, still rubbing his sore ribs, shook his head in amazement. But you were really drinking. We could smell the alcohol." "Of course I was drinking." Jackie laughed. "This is excellent sake. Why would I waste it by pretending?" He took another appreciative sip. But being relaxed and being vulnerable are two very different things. Sometimes the best defense is to look like you don't have one at all. He walked over to where the leader was standing and gently patted him on the shoulder, like a father consoling a disappointed child. "You know what your real mistake was? It wasn't attacking me. It wasn't even underestimating me. Your real mistake was thinking that strength means making others weak." The three men looked at each other uncertainly. The anger and aggression that had brought them to this alley seemed to have evaporated, replaced by something closer to curiosity. "I don't understand," the leader admitted quietly. Jackie's expression softened. "You wanted to prove you were tough by beating up someone who looked weak. But real strength? Real strength means protecting those who can't protect themselves. It means using your power to build people up, not tear them down." He gestured to his bottle again. "Just like this sake, it's most beautiful when it's shared, not when it's hoarded." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small card. "Here," he said, handing it to the tattooed leader. "This is the address of a kung fu school in Wanchai. The Sifu there is a good friend of mine. Tell him Jackie sent you and that you're ready to learn what real strength looks like." The leader looked down at the card, then back up at Jackie. "Why? Why would you help us after what we tried to do?" Jackie's smile was warm and genuine. "Because everyone deserves a second chance to be better than they were yesterday. And because—" He raised his bottle in a small toast. "Good sake is meant to be celebrated with good stories. Someday, I hope this becomes a good story for all of us." He turned and began walking toward the mouth of the alley, his gait still slightly swaying but now obviously purposeful. "Oh, and gentlemen," he called back over his shoulder, "next time you want to test someone's kung fu skills, maybe start by asking politely. You'd be surprised how many people are happy to share what they know when you approach them with respect, instead of aggression." As Jackie disappeared into the neon-lit streets beyond, still cradling his intact bottle of sake, the three men stood in the quiet alley, each lost in their own thoughts. The evening had begun with them looking for an easy target to bully and humiliate. Instead, they'd encountered something far more valuable, a lesson in what true mastery really meant. "What a bottle!" Jackie's voice echoed faintly from the street, followed by his characteristic chuckle. "Really, really good quality. They just don't make them like this anymore." And somewhere in the distance, the city hummed on, full of neon lights, endless possibilities, and the quiet wisdom that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is choose not to break what others believe is already broken.